Every time you get off the freeway in Kirkland on the 85th Street exit, you know what I'm talking about. It is traffic, it's construction, you can't even get to Costco. I talk to homeowners every single day. They don't know what's happening to their home values, what's going on with the traffic. So in this video, I'm gonna cover everything. Then I'm gonna talk about the home construction, the townhouses, everything that's going on so you can make a sound decision whether you live here or not. So if you're watching this for the first time, I just wanted to quickly introduce myself. My name is Jason Mesnick. My wife Molly and I do real estate on the east side, specifically in the Kirkland area. I personally have lived in this area almost my entire life. Let's start with the 405 85th Street exit because it is chaos. Lanes are changing, cranes are up, roads are open, roads are closed. You try to get through there sometimes and it's open, weekends it's closed. So I want to spend some time diving into what is actually happening there, because even people who have lived here for a long time, because the construction's been going on for 2 years, have no idea what's going on. So I want to go through this in plain English. This thing is massive. So there are 3 levels to this thing. The bottom level is essentially what exists now. So the bottom level, you'll go under the freeway. So it's basically getting from like Rose Hill up top to downtown Kirkland, or downtown Kirkland back up to Rose Hill through Redmond. That's the bottom level. So then there's a second level. The second level is like bus rapid transit. So super fast buses. You don't need to get off the freeway to do it. There's a specific level for these fast buses. Then the top level, the kind of the normal. It's the 405. Granted, traffic's always bad on 405. So you're gonna have this top level of 405. So it creates this really great, amazing transit center that usually only big cities like Seattle or Bellevue have these huge transit centers, but now in Kirkland, they're trying to simplify things. Granted, the traffic is absolutely horrible, and every single day you never know what's gonna happen, what roads are gonna be open, what streets are gonna be closed. But in general, you get this 3-level project that should improve things dramatically for everybody who lives in the area. So what they're really trying to do is make it easier for people who take the transit. So you can hop on and off the bus a lot easier. You can take your bike and ride along on 85th a lot easier. So it's safer for everybody. But in general, the short term sucks. Short term really sucks. You're gonna run into problems getting to Costco, getting across 85th, for me, getting to my indoor golf place, getting down to my office space. The short term sucks. But the long term, in general, it should be really awesome. It's gonna be awesome if you wanna take the transit. It's gonna be easier to get on and off the freeway. It's gonna be easier to get across to downtown Kirkland. So if you can bear with it, this is what they're telling us, it should be really, really great. So we've seen this in other regions or other cities, and typically it brings people into the city who want that access to transit, ease of riding their bike, not necessarily people who drive every day, because people like me, we're just used to it and we drive everywhere we go. But for the general public who likes to take the buses, the rapid buses, or ride their bikes, or do those type of things, this type of project is supposed to make your life that much easier. But for homeowners right now, it's a huge trade-off, and we live in it every single day. We're in downtown Kirkland right now, and the road was closed coming down here. So the trade-off is, in the short term, and I know I've said this briefly before, it's chaos, it's noise, it's disruption, it's a pain in the butt if it's closed on weekends. But again, the trade-off is for the long term, and I'm harping on this, that it should be really great. It should be great for our city, because now the state of Washington is looking at us as a major city, and that's gonna help with home prices. It's gonna help with the types of homes you can buy. It's gonna help with transportation around the city. Kirkland's growing up. The second thing you're gonna notice are ramblers. These 1-story houses are being torn down, and construction is everywhere, like right behind me. So a couple years ago, the state of Washington passed House Bill 1110, and that changed everything. So when you had one of these houses in history, or historically for the past several decades, you have to tear down one house, build one big house. Now with House Bill 1110, you could tear down one house, and depending on where you are, you could either build 4 houses on that property or 6 houses on that property. Yes, there are things that you have to figure out with the city and zoning and all of that, and setbacks, and if you have a stream on your lot, but in general, things have changed dramatically. The other thing you're gonna hear is a term called middle housing, and it is exactly what you think. It's not a big house, it's not a small house. It's a lot where it has 4 townhomes, 4 smaller homes. It could be stacked flats. It could be something that houses more than a normal lot would. So you're gonna see that all over the place. So the dirt, the land that you may be living on, is worth so much money, so find out what it's actually worth. So there are a couple of myths that I want to go through. So the first myth is they're going to bulldoze every single house in the neighborhood and just put up 4 houses on my lot. That's not true. You don't have to do that. You don't have to do anything. You can put 1 house on a lot. You can put 6 houses on a lot, depending on where you are and if you're closer to 405 and the 85th Street station. But just know, they're not bulldozing everything. That is just a myth. Myth number 2, middle housing means cheap housing or poorly built housing. That's not true. We're in Kirkland. Honestly, even these middle housing, these smaller homes are $1 million or $1.5 million. That's not gonna happen. It's just a myth. So people are asking me also, where do I see this the most? But I keep on harping on this. It's closer to the 85th 405 interchange because that's where people are gonna, in these small houses, are gonna be using transit and those type of things. You'll also see them on corner lots because they tend to be a little bit larger. So if you have a corner lot and you have a large lot, you may see those 4plexes or 4 townhouses or all those homes built on them. So some streets, even 10 years from now, are gonna feel exactly the same that they do now. They're gonna have big houses, they're gonna be beautiful, and some streets are gonna feel completely different, but it really depends. So if you own one of those houses built in the 60s or 70s, and it's that 1-story house, really dive into understanding what the value of your lot is and what you want it to be in the future. So if you own a lot like this, these are 2 very different conversations. So if you're thinking you're gonna stay, absolutely stay. So if you're saying, I know my lot now, the house itself is worth more than the land, and I need to figure out how to remodel it, how to get it on the market, how to make the most money, because the house itself is more than the value of the lot. But also, on the flip side, like, think about it. If you could turn a lot like this and you could build 6 homes on it, and your lot goes from being worth $1 million to $1.5 million or $2 million, it's really important to understand that and have those conversations now. So whether it's in 3 years, 4 years, 10 years, you know what's going on. So with all this going on, how do you even wrap your brain around it? If you're gonna stay in Kirkland for at least 10 years, you're thinking totally different than anybody else. The short term is gonna mean chaos and traffic and not getting to where you want, when you want. You're not gonna wanna drive over and pick up your kids if a road's closed, and your kids are gonna be frustrated because they can't go hang out with their friends. Costco's gonna be a pain in the butt sometimes, but long term, and hopefully we can all figure out long term. Long term, it's supposed to be awesome. Long term, like as I went through the construction projects, it's supposed to make things simpler. We're a grown-up city now. But what does this mean for your housing? Housing is gonna mean so many things. In general, if you look across the board, for regions like this, for cities like this that have built these major intersections that are changing rules with housing, it has impacted housing prices in a really positive way. So the land specifically, if you're staying here for 10 years, the land specifically will go up in value. I don't have a crystal ball, like things could happen internationally, but again, in the long term, you've got this great infrastructure and you've got this tri-level, whatever we want to call it, construction project on 405 and 85th Street. It's gonna make things so much better, so stay long. I probably will. It's gonna be great for the community. So another option, you may only be here for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years, something like that, which is very normal. But this option is way more about timing because you need to start planning what your home and your lot is actually worth. Preface this, if you live in a big brand new home, you could skip over this part. But if you're thinking about what my lot is worth, you've lived here for a little while or you've lived here for a long time, but you know you're gonna move in a few years. If you have a single lot, the lot itself may be actually worth more than the home. So I suggest starting to plan around this, like starting to understand, is my lot something that a builder would love? They could build one of these big mansions, or they could build 3, 4, 5, 6 smaller homes on the lot. Or is it something that you need to start planning because you want to remodel the home and a single family or a family would move into that home and you'll get more for it that way? You just need to start really understanding what the options are. So let me give you a quick example. I had some clients move to Kirkland because they thought they were going to be here for work, they're doctors, for a very long time, 3, 4, 10 years, something like that. But their jobs, after just 12 months, transferred. They weren't working with me at the time. That the home that they bought was a lot that they thought builders would love. It was a small rambler, that the type of lot that builders in Kirkland love. They tear it down, they build all this stuff, right? Whether it's 3, 4, 5, 6, or a big house, right? What they didn't realize, and the agent that was helping them didn't realize, there was a stream in front of the house. And that stream created issues for any builder. So any builder who was like, well, why can't I build a big house on it? They went to the city of Kirkland, and the city of Kirkland basically told these builders, you could build one small house on this lot. These people bought the home in COVID, so they paid an extremely high price. Now they're out of state. They didn't do their due diligence when they bought the home on what was actually buildable on the lot. Yes, a single family could buy that, but it's not as valuable because of the issues with the set. So when you have a stream, and I don't want to get into the nitty gritty about this, you have to set back the house a certain amount of feet, and everything's a little bit different around here. But in general, trust your agent. Find an agent that really knows the area, and they will help you do all the due diligence of what you can build there, how big of a house you could build. Is the land worth it? Because just because you see a piece of land doesn't mean you can build anything you want on it. But what if you're just Kirkland curious? You don't live here yet, but you're probably gonna move here. Should you move to Kirkland or Bellevue or anywhere in between? You wanna really understand what type of home you want. Do you want that urban feel? So all this new stuff with 4, 5, 6 homes on a lot will feel much more urban. And if you're closer to the 85th 405 interchange, you will feel that urbanness, and some people love it. Or do you want that really classic neighborhood? So you might move a little bit more inland where you don't have as many of those townhouses and multiple houses on one lot. It's good to understand what type of home you want, and that will help me or any of your agents or your agent help you decide where to live. So please be honest with yourself. Do you want the hustle and the bustle and the busyness and the apartments and everything close together, which feels and gives you all that energy? Or do you want to go out your backyard and ride a horse? Or do you want something in between? There are all those options in Kirkland, but just be honest with yourself. There are so many maybe lots. And what is a maybe lot? A maybe lot might be on a busy corner. We don't have any streams like the last lot. There's no streams or weird things happening with the lot itself. There's not 100 trees on the lot that you can't take down. But you're on this maybe lot. Your lot may be something where a builder would want to build a big house. Maybe, I keep on saying maybe, worth way more than you think. But you might be able to put 4 lots on your property. So 4 lots, whether you're gonna start developing it yourself and you wanna make some extra money, or you sell it to a builder that can put on 4 lots. But if you're closer to the 405 85th interchange with all the new construction, you can actually put 6 homes on your lot. So what does that do for you? This may spark some interest where I know I have clients that are starting to get into developing their own projects. You may want to do that and make a bunch of extra money. You may just want to sell it to a builder, but really understanding if you're on one of these maybe lots. So maybe it's a big house, maybe it's 4 lots, maybe it's 6 lots, maybe it's nothing, but really understanding those differences will take you a long way. You can go to the city to figure it out, or again, just reach out to a local trusted real estate agent that knows the city, that knows Kirkland, that can walk you through all of this. So is all this construction and all this chaos a good thing or a bad thing? Honestly, it really depends. It depends if you're gonna be here for the long term, which could be a really great thing. Depends if you're gonna be here for the short term, which could be chaos and you might be living through it and it might be terrible for you. It might be great if you love these smaller homes on a larger lot. It might be also great if you own one of these homes and you can make a bunch of money. It really, truly depends. But what I suggest you do is reach out to me or to another agent in the area who can really dive deep, help you understand what your lot, what your home is worth before you make any decisions. It's never too early to start these conversations. So if you have any questions, my contact information is below. Reach out to me anytime. See you next time.